Okay, firstly, Kevin, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about your upcoming bout on Titan FC 36. You're fighting Cody Stamann. Now, Kevin, you've got a lot more experience than Cody, but Cody's coming up. He's an exciting talent. You've definitely got the experience and the knowledge on this kid. Do you feel that having a chance to fight on Titan is a good way for you to really benchmark yourself in this kind of on this status, on this level?
Most definitely. I'm very happy to be back involved with Titan. I fought for Titan before a number of times. We've always had a really good relationship. So I'm incredibly happy that I get to showcase my talents under them. They got a lot of good things going on, so that's really good. And about Cody, yeah, man. I think this is definitely a good fight for me to showcase my talents. And it's on a good stage too. It's on UFC Fight Pass, so I get a really good opportunity here, and I'm going to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, I was about to say you get to showcase yourself on Fight Pass now, where it's not the same Titan as before. You see, it's almost kind of the
homes around the world.
Yeah, it's went up a level in a sense, and also with Jeff taking over it, everything's kind of changed, and I think there is a lot more hype behind Titan FC now than there were maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Do you feel that as well? Do you feel like momentum changed with it since you got there?
Most definitely.
Now,
they got a lot more shows going on, a lot different areas, a lot broader audience, and definitely a lot greater, better staple of fighters. So yeah, I definitely agree with that statement.
And it also sounds like they are looking after their fighters. They're putting their fighters first.
Definitely. Yeah.
And now with like I said, they've got the roster there. They've got a lot of exciting, talented fighters there. So, especially going into the promotion, you can look forward to the future as well. Obviously, you focus on the fight you have now, but knowing that they've got those names in there, it's kind of settling, really. It kind of puts you at ease knowing that they've got a lot of guys there that are going to push you. They're going to test you, so you can really, kind of see where your level is.
Yeah, there's competitions there.
It also helps for your training as well. I imagine your training now, you get that kind of, that level, it goes up a little bit now, knowing that you have to keep on your toes, you have to keep yourself sharp, you have to improve your game.
Yeah, you always have to. That's for sure. You always got to be on top of it.
And what have you done anything particular? In the build up to this kind of, are you going to do anything particular to build up to this fight to get yourself ready for it?
I've been a pro fighter for a long time, like you mentioned before. I have the experience. I have a set schedule. I fight as much as I can. So I'm not really doing anything too different. I have something that works for me. I got good coaches, good training. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's high elevation. So. I got a lot going on for me, so I'm kind of just focused on keeping everything the same. Obviously, growing and learning and getting better every day. But for the most part, man, my training is the same. Don't fix it if it's not broke.
Yeah, you're right. Then one of the weapons you said it there, the high altitude. That is a weapon that you have got, which a lot of people don't understand that it is a very useful weapon to have in a bout for guys that maybe don't train at high elevation. It does make a difference when you go in there.
We've seen that come, where fighters have come unstuck in the past where they haven't had that altitude training.
Definitely. Right now, Albuquerque is about 5,500 feet above sea level, and then we go up on the mountain and train. It's about 11,000 feet. So, it's definitely, especially, fighting at sea level, or, I believe Kansas City's maybe about 2,000 feet above sea level. I'm not quite sure on my facts on that one. I think it's about 2,000 feet. So, that's a normal 3,000 feet there, and I mean that definitely it really does help.
Oh, it does. It does make a huge difference. It really does. And you're right. The elevation. Like I say, it is a weapon. It is.
We saw Kane, didn't we?
Cain Velasquez against Verdun.
He decided not to train at altitude, and
he didn't come to acclimatise to it. He didn't get himself prepped for it.
Yeah. He's always known for his cardio, and then all of a sudden
he gassed. Yeah, it does make a difference. So obviously, when you're training, you're getting ready for fight. But outside of the training, what is it you like to do then? How do you kick back? How do you relax? How do you unwind?
Man, during training camps, it seems like I do less and less. I'm so exhausted. I work and I train. So, man, during training camps, it seems like I watch a lot of movies, and I'm kind of boring. I don't do too much. But when I have the energy to go out and do stuff, man, I really like to go mountain biking. We got a lot of mountains around here. I'm a big fan of camping. I have a motorcycle. I like to ride around. So, I mean, I like to maintain a real active lifestyle. I enjoy snowboarding. Pretty much anything that gives me a little bit of an adrenaline rush. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I suppose, hence the fighting. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, you sound like my kind of man. I was out camping at the weekend myself. Like I like to go and like grab my guns and grab my camping gear and just go and get myself something to shoot myself something to eat and go and do a bit. And the mountain biking, I used to love me mountain biking. Sadly, that's on the shelf now. But
I was going to say there's nothing wrong with sitting down and chilling out and watching films. When I've finished training, I'm the same as you. I'm exhausted, and I tell you what, that sofa and that movie is the best thing ever to do.
Well, yeah, your rest time is important. It's part of your fight camp.
Like you don't have a choice with the resting.
Yeah,
I think it's really kind of funny, like how like the cycles of my life. It's like when I'm in fight camp, for like 8 weeks, so a couple months. I'm at the gym the entire time, and then when I come home, I'm kind of boring. I just watch TV and fall asleep. But then when I'm not in a fight camp, I go wild for like a little while. I try to get in as much activity as I can, and I go on so many road trips. I make myself sick of road tripping, sick of traveling. So then I can just come back and be focused on the gym.
Yeah, it's like binging almost, like you overindulge on something you enjoy to get yourself back, get away from it all.
So when you say camping, what would you do? A bit of hammock camping, or are you in tents or campers, or what?
I mean, definitely. Normally a tent. Sometimes I like to go canoeing and like camp on the river and stuff. But yeah, man, mostly a tent.
Yeah, I've got myself a fishing kayak. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance this year to get out on it. Like, I missed the summertime. I had a busy summer for one way or another. I've had a few medical issues this year, but hopefully next year I am going to get out on it, and I want to catch my first fish off it. That's what I want to do. Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah, man. I unfortunately didn't get to go fishing as much this year as I would like to. I live in the desert. I'm from Missouri, which there's a lot more lakes and everything out there, and I'm used to fishing a lot more. But now I kind of live in the desert, and the fishing's a little sparse, and it's upsetting sometimes.
Yeah, you can miss those little comforts that you used to have. Yeah,
well, we're kind of the opposite. We live on an island, and
so we're always wet.
We're surrounded by the sea, which is great. A bit of sea fishing. It's easy access with the thing. Yeah. So once I can get a bit of free time, and things are sort of more running good for me.
We like to get out there as well and just get outdoors.
Oh yeah, I feel more alive when I'm out there.
It is. And you know what?
Yeah, man. People, when I get around too many people, sometimes I just got to get away. There's nothing like the great outdoors. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does help. It does help for your training when you get back into the gym, and when you've been away from it all, it does make a huge difference. Yeah. And I suppose when you get back to training, and like you say, it helps you put your focus in. Do you then, when you've been away from training, do you start to look at training a bit different then? Do you see that there was a couple of things you need to change in the sense of, oh, maybe I weren't doing this right, or maybe do you analyze it as well when you're away?
Yeah, most definitely. I think when I take a break, I mean, okay, because man, I think becoming a better person, a more evolved, a more advanced person, like increasing your thinking makes you a better fighter. You know, so even if I've been out of the gym for a couple weeks, you know, I mean, I still think about it, and I come back and I find myself doing a little bit better. You know, I mean, I think it's very healthy. You know, to I don't know, like kind of invest in your soul. You know, like kind of take that time away, reflect on everything, remember, hey, this is why I do this. This is why I take so much pain. I work so hard, you know, and I think it's good to just have a little bit of time to reflect and then come back, you know, and yeah, man, you analyze things you're doing. Oh, hey, I want to try this when I get back. Yeah, man, it's just good to kind of clear your mind and think about other things. You know, this is so much part of my life. I do it every day. You know, when you're in it, it's kind of, you kind of get, you know, like in a cloud, and you just kind of see what's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you take a couple steps back, and, you know, get a breath of fresh air, and you kind of see things a little bit clearer. You know.
Yeah, it is beneficial. It sometimes really does help just to step away, and people do just get that kind of mindset of I need to train every day as much as I can, otherwise I won't get anywhere. And you have to step away sometimes to see where the slight little changes can be, or where you can maybe try something new. Or
it's also good for the mind as well, I think. You know,
it is. It is.
And sometimes it's like you start just like beating the hammer against the wall. You know, it's like you have to. I'm doing this because I have to do it. I have to do it. You know, and you're not. It's just like you just get monotonous in it. And yeah, man, you got to have that step back and you know, just a breath of fresh air kind of change things up.
It does, and it sounds like you've got you sound like you've got that balance there, which is very important. You know, you've got the balance between the time that you spend in the gym to evolve and train as a fighter, but also that balance of breaking away from it just to maybe reset, recharge, and come back again fresh. That
it's
balance
like a maturity,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and trust me, that's just like you just said, man. That's maturity. I've been doing this. This is my 9th year. I'm working on my 9th year right now, and it took me a very long time. I was probably overtrained for half of my beginning fights. You know, I didn't understand that you need rest just as much as you need hard training. You know, you need that. You need to take a step back, and you need to, you know, like let your body rest and your mind rest. You know.
It's a shame you can't just jump in a time machine, isn't it? Go back and tell...
And shake the old you.
You know, 17, 18-year-old you,
Sit
like,
down,
and
you
say,
idiot.
right, this is what you do. But I think it's down to people like yourselves and the coaches now of the world to really sort of input this into the new breed that are coming through now, like, you know, and say, look, this is the way to do it. You might think it's, you know, 24/7. It's not. It's, you know, you've got to give the body a chance to sort of heal and give the mind a chance to sort of, you know.
Definitely, man. I like that you just mentioned, you know, helping out the younger generation. You know, man, when I was starting this off, man, I didn't have anybody giving me any advice. I didn't have, you know, I was just a young, dumb kid who liked to fight, and that's what I was going to do. That's going to be my job, you know. I didn't have anybody to help me out, and so, you know, I mean, I got some really good young fighters, young, talented fighters that I'm so jealous of. They're 20 years old, and they're 10 times I started at 20, and they're 10 times the fighter I was, you know, at probably 23, 24, you know, like, they're just so ahead of the curve. And so, yeah, man, I definitely try to help them out, like, you know, kind of try to kick them to the game, like, hey, man, this is, I know this might be how you think it is now, but it ain't like that, man. Listen to me.
Just don't tell them where you go camping. They'll all be following you. You'll be like a little scout leader or something, you know.
Yeah. They're not allowed on those trips.
I have people say to me, like, you know, like when I'm at work and they say, "Oh, you're going camping again soon?" I say, "Yeah," and they go, "Where'd you go camping?" And I go, "Oh, over to the west." You know,
that's what I say when that's how I act when people ask me where I get my clothes.
You know, it's like telling people where you hide your money. You know, you just don't do it. You know, last thing
none of your business.
Yeah. I go over there.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's enough.
I go the opposite way you go.
Yeah, you know, it's and do you know what? It's I'm a bit like yourself. Sometimes I think a room on my own with a mirror in it is too crowded. You know. Yeah. It's nice.
For sure.
Sometimes it's good to be lonely.
Yeah, it is sometimes. I agree on that one. Obviously, you're gonna have this matchup with. You have this matchup with Cody. It's going to be, again, we know Titan put on very well match fights. We know they do. We know their cards are really good, you know. And we're going to be watching over here in the UK. We're going to be keeping an eye on it. We're going to be promoting it as well. But Titan aside, if we want to join you, for example, on your kind of journey and kind of get into an insight into what you're doing, do you have any social media stuff that maybe people can jump onto?
Most definitely. On Twitter and Instagram, at HHHillbillyKC. My nickname's the Hard Hitting Hillbilly, and then on Facebook, the Hard Hitting Hillbilly Kevin Croom is my fan page. And yeah, you know, I'm pretty active in social media. You know, if you ever got any questions, just hit me up. And yeah, man, I'm normally pretty good at answering questions and talking to fans. It's always nice to get a little feedback.
Just a word of advice: keep your location switched off on your Facebook.
No GPS, no GPS, no GPS.
Yeah.
What about
most definitely? After you've had a couple crazy girlfriends, you already know that.
What about your sponsors, buddy? What about you got any sponsors out there?
Most definitely. You know, I want to give a big shout out to Albuquerque Drive Shaft. They always come through. They always help me out. Mama D's Dungeon. I want to thank Hillbilly Fightwear, Bell to Bell Impact, Pro Tax. I want to give a huge shout out to my gym, Latrell G's MMA, Albuquerque Kickboxing. You know, big shout out to Coach Latrell and Coach E. And, you know, thank you, everybody, for all the support. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing me on your show. And it was a great conversation. I'm glad to find out we have so much in common. It'll be good to talk to you guys again.
Oh, okay, man. It was a pleasure, buddy. Yeah,
sure.
We'll have to go on our own little adventures, and we'll have to talk about them next time. So we'll have to dig the fishing rod out and everything.
Interesting life you sound like you got there.
I try to keep it moving.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the way to be, buddy. That's the way. But hey, have a great time against Cody, man. Have a great bout against Cody. We know it's going to be a hell of a card, so just enjoy yourself on that weekend, man.
Yes, sir. I will.